What is up, everyone? We are back with Local Lens Season 2, Episode 3, and I have the funniest man in Martinsburg right here,
Oh,
Connor
wow.
Williams. How are you
Yes.
doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. So you want to kind of just start off by introducing yourself and letting people know who you are?
Yeah, I mean, you did a fantastic job. The funniest man in Martinsburg. I mean, I don't know if I could achieve a higher accolade than that. But yeah, no, I'm a local stand-up comedian. Was born and raised in Winchester, which is what I tell folks because I lived here in Martinsburg my whole life. So, yeah, local guy. Was in the military for a little bit.
Thank
Got
you for your
out.
service.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. But yeah, got out. Started moved back here. Started a family. A couple years after that, started doing stand-up comedy, and here I am, sitting here with you, telling you about the next chapter, I guess.
Yeah, I
So,
love that.
yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about the stand-up comedy. Growing up, did you always have like a good sense of humor? Were you always the one cracking jokes? Were you the class clown?
I was the class clown, big time.
Did you get in trouble a lot?
Yeah, especially because I went to private school from kindergarten to fifth grade,
Yeah.
so that it didn't always, work out in my favor.
Mm.
But I was always definitely like the first person to make it a point to make a joke or make, people laugh. So that's kind of where it started. And then, I got exposed to a little bit of comedy growing up as a kid, some old school stuff. And then I guess it kind of, I was always like the goofball and joking around, whether it be at like school or work or uh, anywhere. But yeah, pretty much got sucked into the whole like comedy podcast world and listening to those. And then flash forward several years later, I decided to go to open mic night and give it a try for the first time, and been doing it for almost 3 years now ever since. So
I love that.
yeah.
Now, how would you describe your comedy? Is it more dry? Is it kind of just out there? Is it more animated? Like, what would you say your style is, or does it switch?
Yeah, it's kind of like it definitely evolves over time from just being completely terrible when you first start to kind of like finding what works and what doesn't, which is always in front of a live audience. So it's either they laugh or they don't laugh. You figure it out pretty quick. But no, I'm at the point now where my jokes are kind of like a weird mix of like just goofy observational humor and like some life perspective, whether it be from the military or having a family, being married, that kind of thing. So just kind of draw off stuff that people are familiar with and add a little humor to it and go from there.
I love that because honestly, I feel like to be a stand-up comedian, you have to be very, very brave. Because first of all, a lot of people have just a huge fear of public speaking.
Right.
So not only are you doing that, you're going in front of everyone, and your goal is to make them laugh. That is the one reason they are there. And so, can you tell me like how has that been? Kind of having to do that? Have you bombed before? Like, what does that feel like? Like, I can imagine it's gonna be so stressful.
Yeah, so I feel like the stage fright aspect and the fear of public speaking and stuff. When I was younger, that was definitely there. I was on a skateboard team for a church, and we used to travel around, and they had me stand up on a big ramp and like talk in front of all these people, and it was just the absolute worst thing that could have happened to me. Like I didn't want to be there, didn't want to do it. But once I started getting like super obsessed with stand-up comedy, consuming it all the time, watching it all the time, and then once I started thinking about doing it, once I actually did it, like none of that stage fright or fear of the unknown, I guess. I get a little nervous still, but I'd never really like had any of that just because I was so excited to actually be doing comedy. So I guess that kind of worked in my favor a little bit. But as far as bombing goes, yes, definitely. I mean, even the best comedians still bomb. So
Yeah.
someone at my level definitely happens a little bit more frequently.
Yeah.
Because you're trying new stuff, you're trying different crowds, different, you might try something in Bethesda, Maryland that works great, and then up here it'll be terrible, and
Yeah.
down near Manassas it'll do okay. And
Yeah.
yeah, and you just work on it and have fun, and that's pretty much what I've been doing. So
I feel like
yeah.
I would be like just up there, like just freaked out, like oh my god, these people aren't laughing. Like what am I gonna do here? But I guess the show's got to go on, right?
Yeah. I mean, even if I like mess up a joke, I just kind of still try to make that funny and try to get a laugh out of it and just keep steamrolling through and moving on. So
I love
but
that. Now stand up, bringing that to this area because I don't think anyone's ever really done it. What has that been like?
Hit or miss. So I originally started doing comedy because there was a comedy show at Mountaineer Meat Smokers.
Okay.
Um, and this was almost probably 4 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just some local guys, or semi-local, some comedians from around the area,
Mm-hmm.
popped up in Mountaineer Meat Smokers, put up a backdrop, speakers, put on a comedy show, and I went out there and watched it, and it was just fascinating that somebody at the local comedy level could just pop up somewhere and do a show,
Mm-hmm.
and so I started talking to that guy who produced the show, and he was kind of like coaching me through, getting into comedy and that whole process. And then that ended up being who, you know, eventually down the line, I started producing comedy shows as well.
Oh wow.
Him and I started working together, and it just kind of organically grew into, hosting and producing comedy shows. And so a lot of the comedy scene is like more towards the Northern Virginia area, like
Mm-hmm.
getting closer to DC, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then up here, there's really, like you said, there's not really like a market for it. It hasn't been done before. So I wanted to try to, do some comedy close to home. So A, I'm not driving 2 hours to and from,
Mm-hmm.
and B, just to try to bring something new to the area. And like I said, it's been hit or miss. We started off at like some small bar and grill places. Um, and then we moved up to doing some shows at the Apollo Theater, which turned out to be really cool.
Awesome.
And then pretty much some other bar and grill places, event centers, things like that. But it's been tough to get people's attention, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
as far as it being like a new sort of entertainment around here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I guess it's one of those things people don't really know what to expect. Like
Yeah.
you go out to see a band, you know what kind of music you're gonna hear.
Mm-hmm.
You probably know who's playing the music. Um, and comedy, it's just everybody's so different. The comedy that people have seen is so different, so it's tough to kind of like set that expectation. So I'm trying to. I guess I'm in my next phase of trying to get people's attention sort of turned in a different direction from it being just, you know, whatever you're used to seeing comedy wise, and it being more of like a community event, just a night out,
Mm-hmm.
something new to do, something new to see, and, hopefully bring it around to the even playing field with the rest of, the forms of entertainment we have around here.
Yeah, and I think honestly, with just how the world is, like everybody could use a good laugh.
Yeah, I
Everybody could
mean,
just escape reality for a little bit, and I think that's what you're bringing to the area.
yeah, and that's kind of where, like I said, when I was always a class clown and goofing off with my friends or whatever, I always, when I was cracking jokes and laughing and they were laughing, that's really all you're thinking about, it's just
Mm-hmm.
what's going on in the moment. And yeah, like you said, it can be a nice escape from, whether it be just general, dealing with the kids all day, or you got something real heavy weighing on you, or anywhere in between. It's just a good way to stick in the moment with something positive. So,
I love that.
yeah.
So, you've been breaking into this area, trying to really establish it, and then now you just launched something new called United by Comedy. Is that correct?
Yep, United by Comedy Foundation.
So, do you want to kind of talk to me a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, so like I said, I was trying to, you know, brainstorm a way to kind of level up from just doing, producing comedy shows and trying to sell tickets and trying to land venues around here. So through my research and stuff, I found that I could pretty much start a nonprofit foundation and organize it around using comedy as a tool for, as a community resource to build community, to foster recovery,
Mm-hmm.
and to help with veteran reintegration as well, which all those things kind of go hand in hand and all kind of touch home, with me as well. So uh, it kind of seemed like a no-brainer as far as bringing all those things together, um, putting it into the nonprofit format, I guess, and seeing if I can kind of repaint that picture of comedy and the resources that it can provide to people. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm at the very beginning stages of it. We just became incorporated, so
Nice.
I'm trying to game plan, doing some local shows for, maybe like a recovery centers
I love
or
that.
veteran centers. We got the VA here,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of like American Legion posts, stuff like that. So I definitely want to do that kind of thing as far as, providing comedy as I have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd also like to do some like comedy writing workshops to get people, into comedy and, um, maybe cultivate some comedians along the way as well. So
And I have to imagine, you being a veteran, it's amazing what your foundation is going to be doing, but also it's got to be kind of therapeutic for you as well, right?
yeah, I mean, I served 4 years in the Navy. I was a helicopter mechanic, so uh, luckily I didn't have to, go through much peril. But being alongside other veterans who have, I guess, struggled in service and out of service,
Mm-hmm.
um, and in the comedy community, there's actually a lot of veterans as well
Mm-hmm.
who've been doing it a lot longer than I have, and I've seen the way it can kind of both shift how they think, and then just for veterans that go to comedy shows, you can tell that it's kind of like becomes a resource and can be like an outlet for, you know, like I said before, not
Yeah.
just veterans, but
Yeah.
anybody that's going through something
Mm-hmm.
positive or negative. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Quick plug. You guys are always looking ways to support a community and veterans, so you need to support what this man is doing because I think it's something that's really important. Now, what do you need from the community for this to be successful?
Um, Definitely support is number one, as
Mm-hmm.
you know. Quick plug: you just had a pretty awesome event this past Friday.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really know how it was gonna go, and it turned out to be a massive success. People showed
Mm-hmm.
up and showed out,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a great time. And that's pretty much what everybody that's looking to, I guess, do something bigger than themselves is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of making this thing, for the community, and um, that's pretty much, all we ask in return is, utilize the kind of resource, I guess, that we're putting out there. So um,
Yeah, I love that.
yeah,
That's amazing.
thank you.
Now, um, how would you say kind of taking this journey? Because I know you said you've evolved over the year, has changed you.
Hmm.
Taking this comedy journey has changed you.
um, it's definitely I th- that's a good question. I guess the first thing I'd probably say is I've found comedy to be a great ego killer.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's really tough to take myself seriously, or, obviously serious stuff happens, but it's been a good way to not take stuff too seriously. You know what I mean? There's always a way to laugh at the negative stuff and, find something positive in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's given me that kind of perspective. And then, as you can see, it's kind of shown me how, it can build a community and provide a community. Like, the group of comedians that I've met so far, I had no idea that just in not too many in West Virginia. Like you said, I'm
Yeah.
Martinsburg's only comedian, but you get down into like Virginia, up to Frederick, Maryland. There's a ton of people that are just, hitting the stage, hitting open mics, doing shows, trying to make folks laugh, and we all sort of get to know each other, and so that kind of, provides a sense of community too, and yeah, so it's just been an awesome experience to kind of, um, you know, other than getting tackled and ripped on by my kids all day, and
Mm-hmm.
providing for the family. It's just a cool way to get out a couple nights a week and unload some stress, crack some jokes, and
Help people
hopefully,
too.
yeah, hopefully, some people go home with a positive frame of mind, I guess, walk away with it smiling. So that's really all I look for.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, do you have any advice for anybody who is trying to do something new that hasn't been done before?
Oh, yeah. So, I guess, I kind of initially with producing shows was able to, plug in my business minded side
Mm-hmm.
to bring a sense of professionalism to it.
Mm.
So that was kind of a bit of a learning curve, applying that to comedy and producing comedy shows. But over those past couple years, and then now, I guess, researching and putting this foundation into play, the biggest thing, I guess, is just, do your research on if you're passionate about something, do your research, figure out the pros and cons, how it can go well, how it can go bad, figure out a plan, the plan probably is not going to go right the first, second, or third time, but try to execute it. Again, figure out what works and what doesn't, and then put that plan into action. Again, probably not going to go right the first time, but, a couple failures, you learn from your mistakes, and just keep pushing. That's pretty much what I've been doing, and, that's the best advice that I've gotten from anybody else. So that's kind of my method of attack, I guess. Research, plan, and execute. So
I love it. And I feel like for comedy, you had to just be quick-minded because, like, before the cameras were rolling, he was just cracking a ton of jokes, just making us laugh. So I know we're just getting a little more personable here, but trust me, this man is very, very funny.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Funniest man in Martinsburg. So
There we go. Yeah.
I mean, that says it all. I don't have to crack any jokes on air. But
I'll spare you from doing that today. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, Connor. I really appreciate
thank
you
you,
being
man.
here
This
today.
is cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And thank you guys.
Peace.